Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that might seem straightforward, but it's absolutely crucial for any artist out there. Have you ever wondered how many successful artists manage to keep hitting the mark and replicate this success over and over? I'm talking about mastering your composition. While I'm doing that, I'll be showing you how I created this scene for my game, Duck Norris. Look, I know a 5-minute video will do this topic a huge disservice, but I will do my best to at least start a conversation about it and get the ball rolling from there. Composition is not just about placing things together, it's about making sure every part of your work tells a part of the story. Sometimes when we paint, we come across a really cool composition by accident. These are really cool to get, but you can't really rely on those happy accidents to create something amazing. If you do it like that, you'll never be able to do it again. And the point of this video is about understanding what works and why. And one aspect of composition I wanted to look into is how we can add depth to our scene. If you're creating a 3D game, then adding depth shouldn't be a problem. Just placing items away from the player and the engine will apply all of that work for you. But when you're creating a 2D game, creating depth doesn't always come easy. However, there are some ways to give the illusion of depth when done correctly. Every choice in your design should be intentional. Like when I'm designing a new scene, I'll make sure that every element helps focus on the main character by choosing my color palettes and the items in the background. And if you're in doubt or don't know where to start, try to get some inspiration from movies, video games, and even still nature photos. And think about it, pictures on the screen are in 2D, but they give the illusion of 3D just by having some color adjustments. Let's take a look at this picture, for example. When you look at the mountain from a distance, notice how soft the color gets and how we lose contrast the further away we move from the front. And this is just by having two different elements on the screen. But you can add more to it. Let's just say, for example, if you wanted to add cars. So you can have one in the front and one in the back, and show a sense of scale in your scene. And you can see the same thing when you see a skyline of a building. And the colors are faint the further you move away from the front. And it also depends on the day, you can sometimes get clouds up there and add a little bit more depth to the scene. All of that layering and overlap can help sell the illusion of 3D. And the key element here is overlapping. If you have two buildings, you might not see the depth, but if you add a road and a car in between, suddenly you start to see that as overlapping. You just added a lot of depth to the scene. We can say the same thing to having leading lines. They help trick your eye to give into the illusion and add depth. We can do something similar with something called implied lines. And implied lines are invisible lines that help lead the viewer eye into the canvas. For example, in this painting, the implied lines are helping your eye flow through the picture and rest your eye at key elements in the drawing. Many artists use this as a way to get the viewer to focus on the main character. And you can use clouds, rocks, and even cracks and hairlines to create continuity and balance the movement in your scene. Basically, every element is there to serve a purpose. And don't be shy to use repetition. It's actually very appealing to the eye. So you can have repeating rocks on a painting with just slight variations, and it can add a sense of unity and let your eye rest. When it's time to get back in action, the implied lines will help guide you back into the important areas in the canvas. Now, taking everything we talked about, in summary, the most important things are color values, layering, and perspective. They are key for every 2D scene. And if you apply these correctly, you can add depth to your 2D image and give them life, just like this epic scene in our game. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far and you're interested in optimizing things and becoming better, I've created a new Discord server for like-minded people who wants to take this journey to the next level, and you can find it in the links below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like and a comment. It will really help me with the algorithm and help the channel grow. If you enjoyed this video, you'll enjoy this video as well. Thank you so much, and remember, just take it one day at a time, and I'll see you in the next video.